We got a pretty big game, the biggest of games this Monday, and I've been waiting to make this preview to see if anything news comes out about like any injuries or whatever that's happening, any updates that's going on. But it's late Friday when I'm recording this, so if anything new shows up, then I'll make an adjustment there. My prediction might change a little bit, but we got Ohio State, the Buckeyes, rated 8th, playing against number 5 ranked Notre Dame. Heading to these playoffs, both these teams did not have a first round bye. Notre Dame was coming off at a high with a very good, with like a 10-game, 11-game win streak. Ohio State was coming off their lowest point of the season, but both teams have both reached their peak performances in the playoff. Notre Dame has played phenomenal against Indiana, Georgia, and overall pretty solid against Penn State, especially late. They have made big plays in big situations. And the big thing about it, they've not really had to rely on their offense to make those plays. They definitely made some, but when you look at the big moments of these games, you look more at the defense and special team side of the ball rather than the offense, which that shows against every team. Offense, at times, you can shut them down. When their defense and special teams are making plays, that's really tough to stop because that's just a one-play mistake from the offense or by a special teams unit. And this guy's just up and out of there for a touchdown or making a big interception. That translates a lot more, I think, than the offensive big plays do. Then you have Ohio State, on the other hand, that started off these playoffs extraordinarily hot, coming off one of the worst losses, the worst loss in Ryan Day's history at being a coach at Ohio State, and then playing Tennessee, whopped them, then played the Oregon, who they lost earlier in the year too, scored more points on them in the first 20 minutes of the game than they did the entire first part of the game, first game they played, and also shut them out for that part too. 34-0 was the score at one point in the second quarter. 34-0 in a playoff game in the Rose Bowl to the number 1 team in the country. Then they played Texas. Texas gave them a run for their money. Defensive-wise, they were there with them. You have to do that to be able to stop this Ohio State team. The early surge of this Ohio State team has to be stopped. You can be slowed down or whatever. You cannot let them fire off just back and forth. Them 3 and out, touchdown, 3 and out, touchdown, 3 and out. Back and forth like that, you will get ran through like Tennessee and Oregon did against this team. Tennessee found a little bit of a rhythm at one point by slowing down the pace of the game. This is what Notre Dame does the best at. Texas couldn't convert when they had to the most. Defense stepped up big time for Ohio State when they really needed to. Offense did enough late. You look at the big plays in that game. A lot of people look at the Jack Sawyer play, the first and the second and goal at the 1 toss decision, which I still question, even though Ohio State's a great defensive unit up front. Why run a toss play, which the worst case scenario loses 6 yards? Just throw a pass. But let's talk about the Travion Henderson play too, the end the half. When you think this team can't strike, they do it at the most important times. And you don't even realize it. They do it at the time that kills you the most. Hitting you with that play, the screen pass, broke it off for a touchdown in the first half. No one thought that was going to happen. It was just, the play was very simple. We knew the play was going to happen. But no one expected Travion Henderson to actually score. The block set up great. Travion Henderson is a very phenomenal, very, very good running back. So we just let the lineman get in front of him and then just cut, bam, off he went for a touchdown. And you look at the point differential, it might say 14, it says 14, but really that touchdown was the difference between Texas having the ball with a tie game or down by 7. It's a humongous difference. So you look at Ohio State, if they play their best game, this is easily a win for Ohio State. That's without a doubt. But Notre Dame does have the style of play that can probably slow them down enough. You hold the ball, run the ball very well. You're going to have to be able to run it up the middle. That's tough. Riley Leonard has a lot of runs. He's not a guy that's a Cam Newton that could just sweep it out to the outside of Lamar or anyone like that. It's up the middle runs for Riley Leonard. He's very physical, but this is one of the best defensive lines in the country, and especially in the red zone. They're the best, one of the best defensive units in the red zone ever. So you have that. Jeremiah Love, he has a knee brace on in Georgia's game and in Penn State, but he's running through Penn State players like it's nothing in the goal line, fighting for every yard. So I can't tell if he's fully hurt or he's just this good that, like, no matter what injury he got, he can play through. You got a situation like we have Aeneas Williams. I was talking about he's going to be an important part of the game for the Penn State game. Look what they did in the first half. They threw a pass. Guess who they went to? Their running backs. Guess what Ohio State allows? Running backs. That was the only thing Texas had. Their receivers got nothing going. Their running backs were saving them. And guess what Notre Dame has? Good passing receiving backs. Aeneas Williams had the biggest play of the third quarter. 2 on a 36-yard play, and he led on the drive. He got a touchdown. They have a very good running back core. It's not the big names like Quinshon Judkins and Trayvon Henderson, but it shows very well. And one thing I think people already forgot about the Texas game, why they could slow them down, they had the number 1 corner in the country on them, the Thorpe winner. And they ran zone and said, we're not letting Jeremiah Smith beat us. And Jeremiah Smith had 3 yards. He had 3 yards for 1 catch. And I think one of the times Will Howard tried to target him, he got intercepted. He was a complete non-factor in that game and let everyone beat him. Tate did a pretty good job. Abuka did solid. But that's how they kept him down. You have to be able to slow up the run game enough with the people you have and just take away Jeremiah Smith. Emeka Abuka won't kill you, and also Tate won't either. But guess who will? Trayvon Henderson and Jeremiah Smith. They will kill you. And they get 1 play is all they need. Smith never had that chance. Henderson had that chance and made the most of it. Notre Dame's going to be really, really good at that. They're really, so far, have been pretty good at it. They've not really allowed a big play to Georgia. Cash Jones had that touchdown, but that was more like a bound to happen situation. They had the Arian Smith situation, but that was going deep. So hopefully that, for Notre Dame, that changes, that they can actually get back there. That was just a really good play. But that's only once or twice in a game, and it's not for touchdowns. With Ohio State, those might be touchdowns. So you have to be able to get back and stay safe in that situation and play good defensively in those moments. Overall, against Penn State, they didn't allow a lot of big plays. They really did not. So you have the situation of you have to stop the big plays. Oregon just let them run through them and throw on them. It was just big play after big play for them. What do you do for Ohio State? You got to get up. You got to get pressure up front with rushing 4 or 5, and you got to take away Jeremiah Smith or Trayvon Henderson. One of the two, Henderson or Smith. Take one of them out the game. Will Howard has to have a pretty bad game. He has to have one. He cannot play well and this team win for Notre Dame. They cannot win this game, Notre Dame, if Will Howard plays a good game. If he goes for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, they have no chance. If he goes for a 220 touchdown, 2 interceptions, which is possible with him, Will Howard, we've seen that happen before, then the chances are way high. Because time of possession will have to be in Notre Dame's favor. At least 38 to 22 minute differential for them to win. I know big plays come defensively and special teams larger than them, but they usually set them up for those type of plays on the offense. You get a big play, okay, now the offense can work now. It's all about keeping that offense as long as you can on the field for Notre Dame. The more and more in your mind this team can keep, like if you're in the mid-third quarter and it's a one-score game, if it's 20-13 in the third, it's like, I've been here before. I can do this. And with the belief in Notre Dame, with the stuff they have, with that Irish luck that they got, maybe. But you look at what Notre Dame, this is what I kind of think about. Notre Dame, this has been a phenomenal year for them. This has been great. Nice to see them back in national relevance. It's cool to see them back here. First time making the national title game in 12, 13 years. This has been a phenomenal year for them, no matter what. Marcus Freeman showed himself as a great coach and everything of that nature. If Ryan Day doesn't win this game, he still could get fired. Like, there's a legitimate case for some fans that want him gone if they don't win this game. So Ryan Day has the most pressure. And it seems like whenever pressure's been put on them the most recently, he has played at the highest of levels. His teams have. So, you look at that. I just look at the idea of Ohio State playing their best football, and it's right now. Making a ton of mistakes, don't really see a lot of. No, they've not allowed a team to go over 20 points in the playoff against them. So, like, yeah, this is just really looking like a situation of, or that might have been Oregon, but they're up 34-0 in the first 20 minutes, so it didn't really matter. Like, it's looking like Ohio State's not going to have a bad game. Like, their B plus game is better than Notre Dame's A plus game, in my opinion. So, Ohio State is just above Notre Dame. Do I believe Notre Dame still has a chance? Yes. I just don't think today is going to be their day. I got this game being 38-20. I got the Buckeyes being the national champions. I think Will Howard is very, very good. I don't think they're going to be able to take away Jeremiah Smith. They will try to, and they will fail to. They're pretty good in coverage. They're very, very good coverage unit. But with the way Chip Kelly's going with other play calls, he didn't do a great game against Texas play calling wise. But go back to what you're doing against Oregon, taking those deep threats. It's players, not plays. Attack the situation, take your shots, and that leaves doors open for everyone else. I think that will happen. I think Riley Leonard is not better than Quinn Ewers. I don't think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. Nico, we'll see. He's a different type of quarterback. But I don't think he's better than them. I think they'll be able to stop the run enough. Notre Dame will have some big plays probably made by their special teams and defense. They'll put their offense in position. But their offense cannot win this game for Notre Dame. I really don't think they're going to be able to. And you look at the big play they had against Penn State for that touchdown. The defender slipped. The defender fell immediately. That tied the game. He fell immediately. That's not going to happen against a safety unit and this corner unit of Ohio State. They're the best tackling unit in the country. They have some of the best players in the country. They're not going to do that. I got, in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 38-20 Buckeyes winning a national championship. Would not be a surprise, and Ryan Day is forgiven for his loss to Michigan. Because you better forgive him for a loss. If you win the national championship, that's okay. You take the title. You take the title. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. Put on the comments your own opinions. Hope you have a great day, y'all. Stay safe, and remember, God bless y'all.